Hello and welcome to Access Community Television, shamelessly promoting our friends and community. My name is Sid Tan and I'm here with Hanson Lau, who can help galvanize the Chinese head tax and exclusion redress movement. Welcome to the show, Hanson.
You're welcome.
It's so great to have you here. We've worked together for many years and now we get to talk on the eve of the 10th anniversary of Stephen Harper's unilaterally imposed settlement on June 22nd, 2006. I'd just like to start with you because you were there at the beginning. Can you just give us a brief rundown of what happened and how this got going?
Okay, the head tax movement started when Margaret Mitchell, who was the MP for Vancouver East, was approached by two members of the Chinese community who paid the head tax, okay? And one of them was Charlie Mack.
The other was Buddy Young.
Yes, the two of them. So they approached Margaret Mitchell. Margaret Mitchell, representing them, went to the parliament and brought this issue up in the parliament. And Vancouver Sun reported it. And I do my radio program every day, reading the Vancouver Sun and interpreting it in Chinese, Cantonese, to the audience to give a background. So when I read the news about the head tax, it was a surprise to me. I came into Canada in 1966. I didn't know anything about the head tax. So I invited Margaret Mitchell to the radio show to explain it to the audience. Many of them are from Hong Kong and they do not know the background. So the head tax, going back a long time, it was how you call that, a racist legislation. Yeah, in actual fact, the intent is to stop immigration of Chinese into Canada. Started with $5 and then $25.
Started with $50 in 1885, okay. Went up to $100 in 1904, went up to
$500
in 1905, I believe, and then in 1923, no amount of money. Chinese exclusion from 1923 to 1947. 62 years of legislated racism against the Chinese.
Now, $500 at that time can buy you 2 houses, all right? Anyway, so I interviewed Margaret Mitchell, and during the interview, it occurred to me that beside these 2 claimants, there may be more people outside who paid the head tax, okay? So during the program, I announced, I said, if you pay the head tax and you still have the certificate, come to the radio program office and we will register you and then give the certificate to Margaret Mitchell. So more people, maybe more power. So on the first weekend, 400 people showed up at my office.
Wow.
And I have to do it again the second weekend. Another 400 people showed up.
Wow.
We have to do it the third time. So eventually 1,200 people showed up at my office to register with the actual certificate. So I turned over the registration to Margaret Mitchell and to the CNCC, and we started the movement to ask the federal government for the head tax redress.
Yeah. The head tax redress is one thing, and we always concentrate on the head tax redress. There's also the exclusion, 1923 to 27, which most of the children of head taxpayers suffered. And I'd like to really actually make it clear right now, it was 62 years, and part of the redress was not just about the head tax, because that was the money issue. The exclusion part was the family separating, and really, in many ways, more insidious than actually the head tax.
And that was in 1982, 83. Okay, let me make a comment.
Oh, when I
brought it up in the radio.
Yeah, people should know too that in 1983, 82, at that time there weren't a lot of Chinese media, Chinese language media in town. The Overseas Chinese Voice, Wah Kyo Ji Sing, was a program my grandmother used to listen to, and I just want to tell you that.
Well, we pride ourselves in speaking for the Chinese. Okay, that's why it's called the Overseas Chinese Voice. And the comment I want to make is that if the government at the time were to address this, because Charlie Mack only won $500 back, okay?
Symbolic.
Yeah, he paid 500. He said, give me back 500, I'm happy, all right? Now the government at the time and subsequent government keep on saying no. As a result, this long drawn out time involved a lot of second generation involved in the claim. And the second generation, including people like you and other people, are doctors, the professors, and professional people. They start calculating, they say, look, it's not $500. It's $500 at that time that can buy 2 houses. Okay, you talk about buying 2 houses now, the amount is phenomenal, right? So anyway, they drag out the process. They refuse to apologize. They refuse to address the head tax redress. They refuse to compensate for the people who suffered. And as a result of that, okay, during the election, when Stephen Harper was
2005 general
2005, came to talk to us. What's the issue in the Chinese community? We said it's the head tax. And he campaigned on making a formal apology and making compensation. He didn't say how the compensation was to be done, all right? But after the election, true to his word, I got to give him credit.
So do I.
All right? He did formally apologize in the parliament. And he did compensate the living at that time. The people who paid the head tax but still living, plus the widows.
Yes.
All right? But that only 700 to 800.
Yes.
Less than 1,000 compensation. All right? Which to me is less than symbolic. It's not even fair. All right? And nothing was done to compensate the second generation.
Just to let you know, I'm 3rd generation. I'm the grandson of a head taxpayer. But what I want to know, Hanson, is that you mentioned you got here in 1966. You have very little to do with the head tax and all that.
Well,
what gets you so fired up about this? What gets you so going on this?
Let me explain, okay? My involvement in the head tax movement is not on the basis of me being a Chinese person, all right? I figured that one out for a long time. At the beginning, I was doing the Chinese radio show, speaking for the Chinese community, speaking for the head tax payers. But I realized as I go along that I am involved in the head tax movement, head tax redress movement, because I'm Canadian. This is a Canadian value, doing something which is right, all right? My father or my grandfather, they did not pay the head tax. I have no vested interest in the head tax. And the second generation redress, nothing to do with me, except I think this is the right thing to do. As a Canadian, all right, justice delayed is justice denied. And the whole head tax movement should be based on one certificate, one claim.
We're going to have to get going pretty soon, Hanson. A couple of things that I wanted to get to you. How do you think we should move forward on this?
I think you should continue to fight. And that, again, is another Canadian value. They never give up until the right thing is done.
Okay. And I just want to make clear, is there anything else that you want to add before we have to leave?
I don't want to add anything. I want to say that, Sid, you are involved in the head tax movement. I want you to continue to fight. I will continue to fight with you. I understand you guys are going to have another annual general meeting, so maybe you should tell the audience what it is, and if they want to help, come and help you.
Well, I guess thank you for everything, Hanson, and it's so good to have you here. I should let people know that we are continuing to organize. This has been, for me personally, an over 30-year struggle. And I'm glad to see it. And thank you for coming on the show, Hanson.
You're welcome.
It's so good to have you here. And full disclosure, I am a founder and former past president of the Het Tax Families Society of Canada. I'm currently vice president of the Het Tax Families Society of Canada. And if you want any more information on our efforts, you can email info@hettaxfamilies.ca. That's info@hettaxfamilies.ca. And until we get a full, just, and honorable settlement that will include the elderly affected sons and daughters of Het taxpayers who suffered the exclusion. And remember, exclusion was more insidious. In many ways, the Het tax today might be considered a tax grab, but it was very racist tax grab and exclusion. And the 62 years of racist legislation needs to be closed. So my name is Sid Tan. You're watching Access Community Television, shamelessly promoting our friends and community. Until we meet again, straight shooting and tight edits.